Too different, but typical things that Christians give up during Lent are junk food, alcohol, sex. Who does that? Complaining and worry. Those are pretty typical things. But guess what? This year, on the top 6 on Twitter's 2018 Top 100 list were social networking, swearing, and then meat. And then another interesting thing I came across was a couple of new ones. Binge watching, giving up binge watching, so no more Game of Thrones. And carbon fasting is a thing. Have you guys heard about carbon fasting? Carbon fasting is the concept of reducing your carbon footprint by using less gasoline and less energy in your home, etc. So some folks are taking on the idea of carbon fasting as their Lenten activity. So Lent originated in the Babylonian pagan religion and was folded into Christianity when the Roman Empire adopted Christianity as the official religion. So again, Lent, as many of our traditions, rolled in from pagan traditions. And so it was not set in stone until the year 325. The Council of Nicaea set Lent at 40 days. There were some sorts of practices that weren't organized, but at that point in 325 is when it was set. And the traditional purpose of Lent is the preparation of the believer for Easter through prayer, doing penance, mortifying the flesh, and if you don't know what that is, yes, it is as bad as it sounds, repentance of sins, almsgiving, and self-denial. Now, there's more liberal interpretations of Lent today that say that it's aimed at the heart, and it's meant to help us to really embrace more tightly and to cherish more deeply our eternal purpose. Now, Lenten rules have changed over the years a lot. This is definitely a man-made or a man-manipulated thing. So in 1917, they actually changed the ages to, you only had to worry about fasting during Lent if you were between 21 and 59. And then the Apostolic Constitution of in 1966 reduced it down to Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. And in 1983, the Code of Canon Law changed the ages again, and now it's like 18 to 59. You have to, so you get the idea. It's kind of moved around a lot. But the bottom line to me of Lent is to become more mindful and to relate with Jesus' suffering. And Jesus is the epitome of the wounded healer. Many religions, though, have, and also cultures have some sort of a fasting or abstinence practice. Thinking in terms of Native Americans, they do sweat lodges. Does anybody know if other Native cultures also do things like sweat lodges or the vision walks? I'm imagining that they do, but I didn't study that. So. And then Prince Siddhartha lived in a cave for 6 years as a hermit before he became a Buddha. And actually the Buddha's spiritual awakening is directly related to fasting, but actually from the reverse. It wasn't until after the Buddha stopped fasting that he realized his Mahabodhi, or the Great Awakening. In the monastic Buddhist community, basically the Buddhist priests, fasting is considered an aesthetic practice, a Dhutanga practice, which Dhutanga actually means to shake up or to invigorate. So if you give something up, does that shake you up? That's the idea. You're having to focus on change of some sort, a shake up. And so now, as many of you know, I actually went to a 9-day mindfulness retreat about a month ago in the Boston area. It was the MBSR, Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, that was run by the University of Massachusetts Medical School. I've been working on getting this certification, and Tony, if you could hit that. I got just a couple pics I wanted to show because this retreat was different than the last two. I had a retreat in Snowmass that I had to go to in 2016, which Snowmass, Colorado is actually, if we can get it, it's coming. is actually Snowmass is a ski retreat.
I see it, it's pretty.
You see it? Is it pretty? And so we're in the mountains. We're at about 9,000 feet, I think. And so every break, we were able to go hike the mountains, basically, and see the snow-capped mountains. And they actually are snow-capped, right, honestly. But it was quite beautiful. And then my next retreat was in Atlanta in 2017, and it was at a Catholic Retreat Center. It was an MBSR, UMass Med School retreat, but it was at a beautiful wooded, lots of hills to climb up and down. I came back from both of those retreats absolutely in shape. Oh my gosh, every break. So this time, 9-day retreat, it was in the Boston area right after the bomb cyclone snow hit, okay? And this hotel is it's in a kind of an Earth City type of an area. So I mean, there's nothing to do around there. And so we were actually in, pretty much stuck together, trapped in this big ballroom. There's about 70 of us from 7 a.m. to, in many days, 9:30 p.m. just hanging out, doing our meditating. And on breaks, I found out that each hallway had a theme. There was the cloud picture hallway. And if I needed clouds, I went over there. And there was the ice crystal hallway. All the prints in that hall had ice crystals in them. And there was another hallway that had all fall foliage. And it was a very different experience. And I found myself going into judgment and suffering a little bit by being trapped so long. But then I remembered, whatever comes up in meditation is the work.